Hello fellow Rangers, welcome back to the Harrier build. Yes, it is the last part of the Harrier build. Essentially, the water slides, we'll get on with the water slides which are here. And then what we'll do is, after that, we will get on with the history of the Harrier. And then some history on our Harrier, which is XP 831. Or in proper military talk, X-Ray Papa 831. Right, first we got our water, as you see. Right. You do have two choices of prototype that you can do. You can do XP836 or XP381. I'm going to do with 381 because I know I've managed to been able to get hold of some information on that one particularly. So what we'll do is first we will cut out the parts that we need using our ever reliable nail scissors. There we are, that's that one. The only things that we don't need obviously is 836, but we'll keep, you never know. You never know, one day we may need those numbers even separately. So we'll keep hold of them. Of course, I always like to put this part on the stand. I know what it is, but someone who is visiting my home, for example, may not know what it is. And it's just a nice and easier piece of information for them. Because you never know, someone may be interested in it who is visiting. And my thoughts are always is encourage people to look into history. Not like what they're doing in the schools nowadays, which they don't talk about World War II or stuff like that. Just because of worrying about offending somebody. If you get easily offended, then I don't think my channel's up for you. As I will say, speak my mind, I'll say as I see it. I may not be right, I may not be wrong. But that's my right, just like anyone else, to be able to say it. But anyway, we won't go down that tangent. And right, that's the XX, the XP slides, and now that's there. I think what we'll do first is we'll get on with the underneath the top bottom wing, which will be here, which will be the XP831 by there, just by here, not on the actual flap. From the picture that we got. So we will get on with that now. We will move on to the sped up footage, as I don't think you exactly want to watch the water slides come away from the backing paper in real time. But if you did want me to do anything like that, I need you to tell me. Right, let's get on with it. it's your first dance. Whoa, whoa, chasing movies. Whoa, whoa, chasing movies. To find a true romance, forever chasing the moonbeams. Treat every day as if it's your first dance. Whoa, whoa, chasing moonbeams. Whoa, whoa, chasing moonbeams. Whoa, whoa, chasing moonbeams. Whoa, whoa, chasing moonbeams. Working hard just to pay your bills. You're a slave to the daily grind. Stupid boss trying to break your will. You don't pay him any mind. One of these days gonna lose control. Gonna walk right out the door. The 9 to 5 is gonna break your soul. You won't take it anymore. You got the poor blues, and it's a crying shame. So what you got to lose? Right, fellow Rangers, as you can see, obviously from the last bit of footage, the Hawker P1127 is Kestrel. Its full name. We do full names here. It is the prototype to the Harrier, which essentially was first introduced into RAF service in April the 1st, 1969. The aircraft was well liked by lots of different countries. It's to the point where it's crazy to believe that how many countries actually fly the Harrier. And get this, that the Harrier was also, the Americans liked it that much, they wanted to build it underneath license. And this is from a country that don't tend to like to use other people's aircraft. And yet, they wanted to build it underneath license. McDonnell Douglas built them underneath license. That's how good they were. They also served the Sea Harriers. They served very, very well during the 1982 Falklands War. Or they did so much better than people believe that they would, and it's just a magnificent aircraft. And sadly was retired in 2011. An amazing aircraft for what it is. It's truly, truly amazing, and especially from when the Harrier first came about, or the Kestrel, technically. There was aircraft they were trying to use that had essentially, to get the hover, they had to have two separate engines, one to hover, one for regular flight. But yet the Harrier was able to do all this in with one engine, and then they essentially figured out a lot of it through tethered, hovering, and with the flying bed frame, which if I can find a photo of it, I will put it in the video. And one of the actual Sea Harrier that fought during the Falklands War. But yes, one thing, obviously, we'll have our friendly AI in the moment because I like to have everything accurate. Let's say the history of the Kestrels as well. Well, they'll do that now in a moment. Also, one thing I've managed to find, which I'm really, really happy about, our Hawker P1127 XP831 has survived. Yes, she has survived. She is currently at the Brooklands Museum, not far from London, UK. So I love the fact that it survived. And I've managed to find photos of this aircraft and some history through the Brooklands Museum. So it's all public access, so that's how I've gotten hold of it. It's amazing stuff. So first of all, we'll do the Kestrel, all the Harrier prototypes history, and then we'll go on to our Harrier or Kestrel. You get the idea. Right. Time to go learn history, my fellow Rangers.
The Hawker P.1127 and the Hawker Siddeley Kestrel FGA.1 are the British experimental and development aircraft that led to the Hawker Siddeley Harrier, the first vertical and or short takeoff and landing (VSTOL) jet fighter bomber. Development began in 1957, taking advantage of the Bristol Engine Company's choice to invest in the creation of the Pegasus vectored thrust engine. Testing began in July 1960, and by the end of the year the aircraft had achieved both vertical takeoff and horizontal flight. The test program also explored the possibility of use upon aircraft carriers, landing on HMS Ark Royal in 1963. The first 3 aircraft crashed during testing, one at the 1963 Paris Air Show. Improvements to future development aircraft, such as swept wings and more powerful Pegasus engines, led to the development of the Kestrel. The Kestrel was evaluated by the Tripartite Evaluation Squadron, made up of military pilots from the United Kingdom, the United States, and West Germany. Later flights were conducted by the US military and NASA. Related work on a supersonic aircraft, the Hawker Siddeley P.1154, was cancelled in 1965. As a result, the P.1127 RAF, a variant more closely based on the Kestrel, was ordered into production that year and named Harrier, the name originally intended for the P.1154, in 1967. The Harrier served with the UK and several nations, often as a carrier-based aircraft.
Now time to hear about our XP831. And as it said in the footage a minute ago that I put on, yes, our one actually was the one that crashed in Paris at the Paris Air Show in 1963. Yes, I have managed to get all the information on that. Yes, it was repairable because I sadly haven't got the footage or I haven't got access to that footage, but there is footage of the aircraft afterwards with one of the different undercarriage wheels. So, time to move on to our aircraft.
The first untethered hovering flight of the P.1127V/STOL aircraft was made by A.W. Bill Bedford in XP831 at Dunsfold, Surrey on November 19, 1960. 2 prototypes and 4 development aircraft were built, but only 3 of these now survive. An improved version, the Kestrel, first flew on July 3, 1964 with Bill Bedford, and the first production Harrier, 15738, was first flown by Duncan Simpson on December 28, 1967. 9 Kestrels served with the Tripartite Evaluation Squadron in 1965 and 1 squadron, RAF, received its first Harrier on January 4, 1969. The UK's Harrier force was finally disbanded in 2012, although later variants are still operational in other countries today. Built in 1963 by Hawker Siddeley Aviation at Kingston and Dunsfold, this sixth and last B.1127 became the first to feature a swept, Kestrel, wing. The first flight was made from Dunsfold by Bill Bedford on February 13, 64, with a Pegasus 5 engine, as the prototype Kestrel. On March 19, 65, with Hugh Merriweather as pilot, the engine failed in a high-speed dive at 28,000 foot, causing a fire. After a dramatic landing at RAF Thorney Island, Merriweather received an OBE for gallantry. XP-984 flew again on October 15, 1965 and was loaned that December to the Tripartite Evaluation Squadron for demonstrations in Germany. On March 25, 1966, Bill Bedford made XP-984's first flight with the new 03-1 Harrier wing. Sea trials on HMS Bulwark followed from 18-20/06/1966.
Right, fellow Rangers, that is it for the Hawker P1127 and our aircraft, the XP831. And it is an amazing aircraft. The Harrier became such an amazing aircraft. It makes you proud to be British. It certainly does. So one thing I'd like to do before I forget, it is because we all want to look after our veterans, and there's a charity out there called. Before I go any further, I am not officially affiliated with them. I just support their cause, as in I think that's an amazing cause. Well, there's a charity out there called Models for Heroes. Who's pretty much, if you build airfix kits and you're not a part of the airfix model club, but there is a way that you can, well, there's two ways you can help Models for Heroes. You can support them financially, or what I'm doing is on each airfix kit, only airfix kits, my fellow Rangers, you see a little square like this with 1 hour flying time. You build up enough of those and airfix. If you're part of the club, you can pick another model kit for free. So what Models for Heroes do is they redeem these actual flying hours and help veterans to deal with stuff. And I honestly really believe in that. It's something that we should all do. Help all our veterans out in any way, shape or form. Because we wouldn't have the life that we got now. But anyway, that was our Harrier. Of course, links in the description for the Models for Heroes. But yes, that was our Harrier, our Hawker P1127. One question. Now that's done, what am I going to do with all this spare time? I hope you enjoyed this video, my fellow Rangers. If you have, please put a like on it. Also, if it is your first time watching my channel and you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, as that really does help out a lot, honestly. So, from me and our Harrier, I see that every time, it's typical. Our Hawker P1127. This is the Lone Ranger, signing out.